Alright, so here on Team VRY, we've covered a ton of different smartphones, but I just realized that one particular device that we haven't talked about is the iPhone 12. Now, the iPhone 12 was launched back in 2020, and this was of course during COVID, and not many people had the means to upgrade their smartphone in the middle of a pandemic, and it was often seen by some as the awkward transition from the iPhone 11 to the iPhone 13 series, which kinda made more sense in the long run. That said though, you might be looking at getting the iPhone 12 in 2025, and yeah, let's talk about some reasons why you might want to get this smartphone. Let's get started. Right, so obviously one of the biggest factors why you might want to get the iPhone 12 is its price. Now, it did launch starting at around £800 here in the UK, but now I'm seeing it go for as low as £350, and this is for brand new in-box iPhone 12 models, which is kinda neat. So if you're looking for a really affordable smartphone that doesn't come with the compromises of the iPhone SE3, for example, then the iPhone 12 is a nice step up for a more reasonable price. Now, design-wise, it's going to come with the more modern Apple look, which consists of the flat sides, the slimmer bezels. The phone does come with an OLED screen, which is a nice upgrade from the LCD panel which Apple used for the iPhone 11. And it does come with your standard 6.1-inch display size, with a decent resolution of 1170 by 2532 pixels and up to 1200 nits of peak brightness. It will be enough for most users who just want a phone to browse their social media feeds, check their messages and apps, and maybe stream some of their favorite Netflix shows. For performance, it is going to come with an older chipset in the form of the Apple A14 Bionic, along with 4GB of RAM. Now, the A14 Bionic has kind of been lost to history, but nevertheless, it's going to be a decent performer. It will be able to run most games on the App Store. As with the display on the phone, it's going to be decent overall, especially considering what you're paying for. Now, in terms of software, it did launch with iOS 14, but of course you can update it to the latest iOS 26, which comes with the Liquid Glass UI update, or of course you can settle for iOS 18, but it's not going to come with the more recent Apple features. Considering that the iPhone 11 is still getting updates, for example, we can still expect a couple more years of support for the iPhone 12. This also means that you're getting access to the essential Apple features like iMessage or FaceTime and AirDrop, for example. So if you're one of those users who really wants to stay in the Apple software ecosystem, then the iPhone 12 will be able to run those services. And building on this general usability, you can say the same for the cameras on the iPhone 12. Now, it does come with a dual camera setup, and yeah, it's going to be able to take good looking shots. Colors are punchy and there's a decent amount of contrast. The iPhone 12 does make a good value proposition, especially with the lower price and for users who aren't after a really powerful smartphone. There are of course some considerations to be made with the iPhone 12. For one, it only comes with 64GB of base storage for the cheapest version. So if you're someone who's looking to install a lot of games or import a lot of media into your iPhone, then you might want to consider the slightly more expensive 128GB storage version. It also comes with a pretty small battery, so you're only getting a 2815 mAh battery inside the iPhone 12, and while it'll generally last you for an entire day, you're probably going to have a bit of trouble trying to stretch it out into the next day. If you play a lot of games on your smartphone, stream a lot of content, or constantly use data, then you might have to reach for your charger a bit earlier on. Another downside is the display. You do get a pretty wide notch, which is around the same width as the notch on the iPhone 11, and it of course comes with a 60Hz display, which in 2025 isn't really impressive. I mean, we're getting more affordable phones with 120Hz refresh rates on their screens, and of course the phone does not come with USB-C support, so you're getting the older Lightning port on this smartphone. Now, at the end of the day though, the biggest factors to consider in getting the smartphone are your personal needs and your budget. If you're after a more affordable smartphone and aren't really too concerned about the older processor, the slightly older design and display, and just want access to Apple's software ecosystem, then by all means, go for the iPhone 12. On the other hand, if you're willing to spend a bit more and don't really want the compromises that come with this smartphone, then you're going to want to get the newer models like the 16E or even the base model 15, which do come with a lot of improvements. So yeah, let me know what you think about the iPhone 12 in the comments below. Are you gonna get one, or are you gonna get another iPhone model or another smartphone brand altogether? Thanks all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.